Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome to my first ever book blog. So, I read a ton of books. I love reading books. I gain so much value from reading books. I apply a lot of the principles that I learn from these books to my lives, and they yield incredible results. This is the thing about knowledge, guys. Everyone says knowledge is power. That's not true. Applied knowledge is power. There's a huge difference between learning a bunch of shit and actually doing the shit you learn. Right? So in today's book blog, I am going to review one of my favorite books ever. I feel like I say that a lot. I feel like every book I say is my favorite book ever. But this truly is one of my favorite books ever. It's called Becoming Supernatural by Dr. Joe Dispenza. So this book was written... Let's see when this book was written. That's a really good question. 2017. Fairly new book, right? It's only about 3.5, 4 years old. Dr. Joe Dispenza is a neuroscientist and an epidemiologist. He is a doctor, obviously, studies the brain and the nervous system. And when I mean nervous system, I'm talking about the brain and the spine and all of our neurons that connect to our body parts that make our body move, that help our brain think, and also allows our cardiovascular system, our immune system, our digestive system to work. Now, I want to first say I am not a doctor. So when I say these scientific or medical terms, it's possible that I could be using them in the wrong way, but I'm going to review this book in a very practical and simple sense. I'm gonna review this book like you guys are in 3rd grade. So I'm gonna make it really, really easy for you guys, because this is a very hard book to read. It has a lot of scientific terms, but I've gained so much value from reading this book. I've read it twice. I own 2 copies of this book. Give me 1 second. I had to decline that call. I own 2 copies of this book because I like it so much and I just like looking at it. So Dr. Joe Dispenza is a doctor, and in 1986 he was riding his bike and he got hit by a truck. After this incident, he was paralyzed from the neck down. He couldn't walk. He couldn't do anything. He was a paraplegic at this point. Paraplegic, quadriplegic, not really sure. Again, not a doctor, not really good with the scientific terms, but he couldn't walk. He was paralyzed, right? He went to 6 of the greatest, most credible, prominent spinal surgeons in the world at the time. Again, this was in 1986. And every single one of them said, Joe, if you ever want to walk again, you have to get surgery. We have to go into your spine. We have to repair your spine. And hopefully, from a God-given miracle, you'll be able to walk again. Well, Joe, as a neuroscientist and an epidemiologist and someone that has specializes in and has dedicated his life to studying the spine and our nervous system and our neurons and our brain and how all these things work together, he said, you know what? I'm not going to do the surgery. I'm going to meditate. I know this is kind of crazy. I'm going to meditate on my spine. Okay? Well, to make a long story short, he built back his spine vertebrae by vertebrae in 6 months, full recovery, no pain. I know, it's crazy, sounds like bullshit. It sounds like bullshit, but these things happen. I mean, people have cured cancer from meditation and just from changing their thought patterns, and people have been able to fight Parkinson's and treat diabetes and heart disease and a lot of these medical conditions that are chronic. Right? A lot of these medical conditions that people think are chronic, that you're going to have for the rest of your life, sometimes all it takes is a little bit of faith, hope, psychic energy, consciousness, meditation, and awareness of our body, right? Because a lot of our negative thought patterns, whether it's anxiety or depression, okay, affect our digestive system, our immune system, our cardiovascular system, and our nervous system, a lot of the other systems that run involuntarily without us having to think about it. You don't have to think about breathing. You don't have to think about digesting your food. You don't have to think about your heart beating. You don't have to think about your lungs working. I mean, these are things that just happen without us having to use our psychic energy, without having to use our mental attention and focus on for us to live our lives. So I actually didn't even know about Dr. Joe's story until after I read this book. This book was recommended to me by a good friend named Connor. Shout out Connor. He's a swimmer at FSU and a very spiritual dude, really great guy. We have a lot of stuff in common. He lives local here in Jupiter, Florida. We used to hang out. We used to work together, actually. We sold life insurance together. Great experience. Selling life insurance is extremely difficult. Probably one of the hardest jobs I've ever had my entire life, but I gained so much experience and so much knowledge, and I learned so much from calling a bunch of people and then telling me no, they don't want to meet with me, and having a better idea around financial literacy and just taking a more holistic approach to financial education and financial freedom. And that's a lot of the reason why I have a lot of peace of mind in my heart, is because I've learned a lot of things about finance and the way money works, and I'm more than happy to help you out, viewer right now, listener, however you're taking in this content. Happy to help you guys out. If you have any questions, shoot me a DM on Instagram. But let's get back to the book. Becoming Supernatural, written by Joe Dispenza. This book is all about, how do I say it? I mean, like, the way I describe it, it's a lot about how our mind affects our body. It's a lot about how our mind affects our body. It gets very, very deep. And I can talk about this book for the next hour if I wanted to, and I would still only be scratching the surface. It talks a lot about meditation. It talks a lot about being present. It takes a lot about being aware of your thoughts. It talks a lot about anxiety and depression, and how it affects our proteins and our genes and our cells and our DNA. Because when we think about the future of, oh my God, I'm so nervous for my test, or oh my God, I have this thing I'm going to and I'm so self-conscious about this pimple on my face, or we're living in the past, fuck man, if I would have just bought more Bitcoin in December of 2017, or damn, like I'm so mad about what this person did to me 6 years ago and it's just really pissing me off still, okay? When we're living in a time that's not the present moment, our cells are not able to regenerate as quickly and efficiently as possible. This is science. This is what the news doesn't tell you, right? These are things that you need to go out of your way about, be proactive and intentional about learning if you want to live a healthy lifestyle. So, Joe, this book's about health, you guys. It's about freaking health. It's about living a healthy life. I don't even want to say being happy, because this is not a book. This is not a personal growth book. This is not a self-development book. This is a book about meditation. This is a book about curing illnesses and diseases through meditation and being present. And what I really like about this book is it has a lot of diagrams. Like I said, this is a really tough book to read, but I'm going to try to pull up some of my favorite diagrams here. Oh, okay. So I'm gonna kind of skip to one part. This book compares Newtonian law to quantum physics. So for all those people that don't know much about Sir Isaac Newton or quantum physics and Albert Einstein, science obviously plays a big part in the world. Obviously, right? That goes without being said. But there's a huge difference between Newtonian law and this newish perception on the way the world and energy works called quantum physics, quantum mechanics, and quantum field, okay? It's the ether, they call it. It's the ether, right? It's the space between my camera and my body, okay? There's information, there's energy that travel through atoms and subatomic particles. You don't see them. You don't hear them. You cannot feel them, but they're there. Just like your Wi-Fi, just like the radio waves that come from a satellite into your car, and just like that microwave that somehow makes your food hot without any heat. You don't see the microwaves, but they exist. And we don't question them. So, here we go. Newtonian law versus quantum physics, the quantum world. Okay, there's a fifth dimension that's going on here, right? Now look, guys, I'm not explaining this book too well. I'm really not explaining it well because there's just so much going on here. And there's so many things to even explain about. But if there's one thing that you can learn from this 10-minute YouTube video, it's a few things. So one thing, you gotta meditate. If you want to be healthy, if you want to be aware of your thoughts, if you want to accomplish all your goals and dreams, you want to stay focused, you want to have deeper relationships with the people you care and love most, fucking meditate. You gotta fucking meditate, bro, okay? Now look, you don't have to read a bunch of books on meditation, you just gotta do it. It's a practice. You cannot succeed, you cannot fail. As long as you're doing it, okay? I know, and don't overthink it. Ha! That's a joke, but seriously. There's a couple graphs, though, I do want to show you in this book. Give me like 2 seconds, okay? Let me find it real quick. Our freaking brain. Don't know how it works, but it does. I call it God. All right, here we go. The body as energy versus the body as matter. There's one thing that's very, very important in this diagram. You don't have to read this chapter. You don't even got to read this book. You got to learn this. There's a huge difference between energy and matter, okay? If you knock my head, yeah, it's matter, right? This desk, it's matter, okay? Or is it? Okay? Because if you break down our body, okay? And there's a graph in here. That's going to explain this. But if you break down our body, it's muscle. And if you break down the muscle, it's tissues. Like if you take a microscope on my pec or my shoulder, okay? Muscle, right? You see muscle. You break down the muscle, you see tissue. You break down the tissue and you see cells. If you break down the cells, you'll see atoms, which is energy. And if you break down the atoms into the smallest part possible, you break it down and you break it down and then you break it down more and you can't break it down anymore, it's a subatomic particle. What's a subatomic particle? Here it is. It's freaking energy. All right, here you go, guys. Here you go. This is you, okay? This is your body. This is your heart. This is muscle tissue. This is a cell. This is chemicals that make up the cell. Then it's molecule. Then it's an atom. Okay, so I was a little off on the vocab and the verbiage here, but we're not going to argue semantics. You get the point. All right. So that is just like, it's mind blowing. We're just energy, guys. We're just energy. So if we're just energy and we're not really matter, then we can kind of just be in the ether and we can create scenarios in real life through our thoughts, okay? Our thoughts are real things. We have an electromagnetic aura around our body, this field that is around everyone. And our brainwaves are projected out into the universe, okay? Now, they're either projected at a high frequency or they're projected at a low frequency. The people that vibrate at a high frequency, the people that are happy and have love and peace in their heart, project their waves from their brain, from their electromagnetic aura as efficiently as possible. And these are the things that are able to rearrange the furniture in the universe so that you can accomplish all your goals and dreams. Okay? So that's basically how that works. And it's really important for us to, sorry, I'm just still looking through the book. I want to there's a lot of graphs in this book and they're not easy to understand. Oh, here we go. So when we meditate and we're fully present, you guys, I'm going everywhere right now because there's so much information in this book that I'm super passionate about. But when we are meditating and we're fully present right here, right now. Not worried about what's happening 5 minutes from now. Not worried about my real estate showing in 15 minutes. Listen, I'm going to be late to my showing and I don't give a fuck, okay? These are our brainwaves. This right here and this show how everywhere our brainwaves. But when you meditate, let me try to find the other graph. When you meditate, your brainwaves, here it is. You guys, This is what your brain looks like when you're thinking about the future and you're thinking about the past and you are not fully present, okay? You can't focus. Your mind's everywhere. Now, when you're present, you're right here, right now. You are listening to the beat of your heart and you're feeling your breath and the blood flowing through your veins, right? Because you're aware of that. That is what your brainwaves look like on an EEG machine. This is real science, guys. This is nothing I'm telling you is made up bullshit, okay? So, moral of the freaking point. Oh, here it is, guys. Another graph I love. This is you when you're fully present. Your aura, your electromagnetic wave right here is vibrating at such a high frequency that your intentions from your mind are able to create your dreams. So, guys, listen, take my word for what it's worth. Take my word for what it's worth. I do not care whether you apply this knowledge or not, but I am living proof that it works. I'm living proof that it works. Shout out to my guy, Joe Dispenza. You are amazing. I love you. Thank you for all of the information that you share with all of us. And all I had to do was pay $20. All I had to do was pay $20 and I got all this knowledge and it changed my life forever. Sorry, I don't mean to be so brash about it, but I'm making these videos because I want to encourage you to read more books. 5 pages a day. That's it. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe below, hit that bell, like this video, write a cool comment, write a comment about how much you hate me. I do not care. And if you want to learn more about me, you want to work with me, whether it's on a one-on-one life coaching personal experience, whether it's hiring me as your nutrition coach, helping you with meditation or mindfulness, mental health, shoot me a DM on Instagram. Happy to have that conversation. Have a wonderful day. Thanks so much for watching.